I spy this my little eye!
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
The Dead Ringer. One of the most controversial weapons in the entirety of TF2. But why is that exactly? Many spies are saying that it's overrated or outright bad. Meanwhile, there's still plenty of people defending its viability, myself included. But to understand why there's such a big divide with so many strong opinions, we gotta first understand just how this little golden pocket watch works. The Dead Ringer is one of 3 unlockable watches for Spy that turns his main gameplay aspect completely on its head. Since normally you can just press mouse 2 to turn invisible on command with stock with the cloak and dagger, but with the Dead Ringer, you can't. You can only cloak by taking damage, aka feigning your death. Afterwards, cutting your cloak meter in half, leaving you with 7 seconds of cloak with a 20-second recharge time if you fully deplete it. You also cannot restore your cloak meter by picking up ammo boxes like you can with the other watches, unless using items that can give back cloak like the L'étranger or the Big Earner. But in return, it grants you a 3-second speed boost along with a 75% damage resistance on the initial hit with a 65% damage resistance afterwards that quickly dissipates to the normal 20% during that 3-second speed boost. Keep in mind though, the damage resistance only applies when you're cloaked, even if you maintain the speed boost after uncloaking. Bet you didn't know that normal cloak gives you 20% damage resistance, didn't ya? So the Dead Ringer seems simple enough, right? Just another tool to play into Spy's role as a trickster and infiltrator. So why is it so hated? Well, it's complicated.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn.
There's a few reasons why the Dead Ringer could be frustrating for both user and enemy, like the fact you can't cloak on demand like the other watches, or the loud ass roar it makes when you decloak, or the fact it just allows people to not be sneaky at all and get away with dumb plays. Oh yeah, that's the big one. Because of the way the Dead Ringer fundamentally works, it heavily promotes a more aggressive playstyle from the Spy in order to be used effectively. And due to that fact, it led to the creation of the quintessential Spy main loadout. The Kunai grants survivability, the Dead Ringer grants sustainability, and the L'étranger fuels that sustainability, where these traits create a kind of loop that makes the Spy damn near unkillable. Which is exactly why many people hate fighting it. But Spy wasn't supposed to be played this way. You're supposed to use stealth to infiltrate enemy lines and pick off key targets like a ghost that didn't get away or die trying. Because you're playing a team-oriented, class-based shooter, not a hack and slash where you're the main character destroying every enemy. But you know, it's understandable as well why this playstyle would be hated, since essentially you're having all the fun while leaving the enemy team with single-digit scores. Since as previously mentioned, a good spy is damn near impossible to put down. Especially since at this point in TF2's 18-year lifespan, Jesus Christ, has it been that long? Pretty much everyone knows about Spy's tricks. Which is why many spies have just decided to drop stealth altogether and just use the Dead Ringer as a get-out-of-jail-free card. Or as a pocket speed boost. But even with so many ignoring them, I believe there are 2 ways which the Dead Ringer was truly meant to be used.
Achtung, Spy!
Throughout my time of playing TF2, and Spy specifically, after enough time of using and analyzing this watch, I've come to one conclusion on the ways this watch was meant to be used for. In my eyes, I believe that the Dead Ringer was meant to be used as an insurance tool or a last resort option. Reason being, when would you want to fake your death? In the middle of a fight, of course, or to not get instantly one-shotted the second someone sees you. But my favorite part about the Dead Ringer is that you can just go head-to-head with Pyros knowing you have a way out if the fight's not going your way. And there's nothing more satisfying than sticking it where the sun don't shine to those W-morning bastards. Pyro counters Spy. My ass he does! Obviously that's a joke. Pyro is supposed to counter Spy, but it just goes to show how the Dead Ringer makes you feel in this matchup. But probably the best piece of advice I can give to anyone using it would be this. Stop holding out the Dead Ringer all the time when you're about to take minor damage. It's great to have quick reflexes, but you should first analyze your enemy and judge whether they can one-shot you or not. For example, in this clip, I tried to finish off this Pyro, but I get set on fire and air blasted. Then I see him pull out his flare gun and realize, oh shit, he's about to crit me, and I make the split-second decision to ring to save my skin. And hey, because I decided to stick around, I get a blind overhead trick stab on this heavy that just waltzes up.
Ooh, okay.
I'd say the only times it's fine to pull it out is against soldiers, demos, and sometimes snipers if they like quickscoping a lot. Against everyone else, wait a second before you pull out the ringer, cause unless you manage to quickly kill them, you'll have much more time to fight back and react to what they do. Cause the best way I've seen you can trick others is by waiting and taking a bit of damage first. Reason being, if you're discovered by an enemy and actually fight them instead of just brute forcing your way past them, it would be much more believable that you died fighting instead of ringing. And actually you may have a chance to get your taunted on, which is always hilarious. But of course this way of using it doesn't quite work as well if you're not at 125 HP. Or topped off by the kunai, which is the only time I'd say it's fine to walk around a bit out since you're far more fragile. Another clever thing you can do at the beginning of a round if you're attacking, you could disguise as a teammate to fake their death instead of yours, letting you easily get behind enemy lines. On top of that, if you decloak behind a wall, the sound of the Deadbringer will be much quieter to where it just sounds like stock. I've been playing Spy for a very long time, and in all that time, I've come across some very interesting techniques that few know about, which I'll be sharing today. You may or may not know some of these, but either way, there can be some fancy wildcards. Firstly, did you know that if you manage to trigger your ringer in spawn, like getting shot immediately, then go and touch the resupply cabinet, you'll have full cloak and be able to go much farther while invisible before running out. And this can be drastically increased if you're using the l'étranger. But this trick needs to have resupply cabinets close to the spawn doors. I wonder if y'all have ever noticed sometimes after spas shoot, they didn't flip the dead ringer up and back down instantly? Well, that right there, my friend, is the quick reload glitch. By pressing mouse 2 right as you reload, you essentially just skip the reload animation and always get 100% accurate shots. And of course, this is especially powerful with the Ambassador, since you can just spam headshots left and right to basically be the best gunslinger like Arthur Morgan.
I thought about you as well. Jesus, let's go.
That last one is much more known about, but I bet you've never heard of this last trick. Funnily enough, I only recently came upon this one by accident. Now this one is much harder to pull off, but if you manage to put away your dead ringer the frame you feign, you can completely negate the roar from the dead ringer. It is quite niche, but you never know who you may be able to catch by surprise. All in all, this watch can actually be a very reliable alternative to the normal spy playstyle, because if you actually use your head while using it and manage to fool people, who knows? Maybe they'll actually begin to respect the clever plays you can pull off with it. And before you know it, you'll be racking up godlikes in no time.
Opportunity to hit my arm instead of
Thank you.